Welcome. This is Yoga for Cancer, and I'm Rebecca. And for today's class, we will need a strap or belt or long scarf, something along those lines that just something that can extend your arms for the practice. So go ahead and grab that and have it, pardon me, have it handy. And then we'll come to that a little bit later in the practice. So go ahead and take a comfortable seat, sitting up nice and tall. Allow yourself to settle into your physical body, noticing the sensations that become very apparent to you. What are the first things that you notice? Maybe it's the feeling of the ground beneath you, underneath your palms or fingertips. Noticing the sounds in your space beyond the sound of my voice. Can you identify sounds that are, pardon me, the sound of my cough, which is very familiar. Can you identify sounds that are close by versus a little further away? Notice the temperature and any air currents. What are the sensations in your space? And then begin to turn your attention more deeply inward to your own breath. Maybe for the first time today, noticing your breath. The body breathes without any input, but we can also change the breath, the gift of breath. So bring your hands to your lowest belly and feel the breath move down, really filling into your hands. Allow your hands to rest. And then as you inhale, feel the hands moving away. As you exhale, moving towards your body. Allow your shoulders to drop and be heavy. Heart shining forward. And direct the breath down. And you keep really steady in the upper body. Shoulders heavy. And direct the breath down. What does that feel like? Take a few more breaths here. And then bring your hands to your rib cage, just on the outside of your ribs, if that's comfortable for you. And see if you can bring the breath right into your hands. Beautiful. And now gently place your hands at heart center, just above your heart space. And bring the breath here. And now release your hands down. We're going to put all of that together. So in each inhale, we'll breathe into belly, ribs, and heart. And then as you exhale, heart, ribs, belly. Take it slow, and I'll talk you through the first few. Inhaling down, filling up like water fills a cup. The breath drops into the belly. Then the ribs expand. And at the top of your inhale, heart lifts, collarbones move apart. As you exhale, soften, soften, and let go. Inhaling, belly, ribs, heart. Reach up through the crown of the head. Get tall and spacious. As you exhale, soften and ground into your supports. Talk it through one more time. Inhaling to belly. Expand the ribs. Lift the heart. And then let it all release, sinking without collapsing. Letting go and grounding, but keeping spaciousness. Let's do 5 more Dirga breaths, 3-part yoga breaths on your own. And after your 5th or so exhale, come into your natural breath. And just take a moment to notice. Notice the effects of this breathing practice. How did it feel in your body? Was it comfortable? The intention of the 3-part breath is to create space and also give you something to focus on as you do your breathing practice. It gives you just a grounding, something to think about. And we help grow the breath, expanding our capacity for breath. We all start in different places because of our history or our biology. And so growing a big container for breath helps us as we go about our daily lives. So let's continue with sun breaths, allowing the arms to float up or out with the breath. Turn palms down and slowly lower the arms. Beginning to connect movement with breath. Arms floating to wherever is comfortable in your body today. If you have any restrictions on one side, usually we keep the 2 sides together. I'm working with a shoulder issue today, so I'm using a smaller range of motion than usual, and it feels quite comfortable in my body. Let's do just a few more like this. Beginning to connect movement and breath. So it takes the whole inhale for arms to float up and the whole exhale for arms to float down. This time or the next time that arms come down, let them rest for a moment. Bring your right hand across to your left shoulder if this is comfortable. Turn your head to the right and then take a gentle side bend to the left. Inhale to center, head comes to center, and switch. Turn your head to the left and side bend right. Use your other arm on your knee or even on the floor to give you a little bit of extra support if you need it. Inhale back to center and switch. Oops, I got the wrong direction. Look at that. And take your time moving with this side bend practice. Stay with this if it's comfortable, or try double cross or even wrap, whichever feels better. So either elbows stacked or forearms crossed, head in the center, and side bend. As you side bend, turn and look away. Inhale to center, side bend, head turns. Inhale to center. We'll finish up whichever version you're using. One more time to each side. And then make your way to the center. Interlace your fingers like you're making, I don't know, like you're holding hands. You could do it fingers entwined or even palms together and hands together, whichever feels more comfortable in your body. We're going to make a circle, drawing our hands up and around, overhead and down. Keep going in one direction. I don't know, maybe this is a baseball movement. What does it relate to in your world? And the next time you're coming through center, go ahead and switch directions. Yeah, I guess it does. It kind of feels like drawing a bat up overhead, right over to the shoulder, and then up over to the other shoulder and down. Allow the arms to rest and go ahead and shake your hands out. Great. Sitting back with support from your hands or fingertips, walk your feet out wide and allow your knees to gently drop from side to side. Stay with this movement or add a twist by releasing your arm and looking towards your planted hand, reaching around. Take your time, whatever version is working for you today, giving us some warm up for our hips and spine or our shoulders and neck. And this or the next time that you come through center, pause here. We're going to come all the way down to our backs. Make sure that your strap is handy because we will be using the strap in a moment or two. I have this sort of fun strap that has all these handholds on it, which I just love. And it has a nice comfortable little pad that goes on your foot or whatever appendage you're securing. So come on down onto your back. You can let your knees bend, arms at your sides. We're going to start with some opposite reaches with arms and legs. So reaching right arm and left leg. Just slide the leg out. The arm can sort of arc up and it could come up or out, whichever feels better. On an exhale, back to your starting position and move to the other side. Inhale and reach, opening up. And exhale, drawing in, coming back to center. Continue moving in opposite directions. Moving with your breath, inhale to extend and exhale to draw back to center. And this or the next time that you come back to your starting position, we're going to move to same side stretches. So inhale, press the same side, leg and arm reaching out. Exhale, draw back to center and switch. Same side. Couple of times through this little sequence. And again, moving through comfortable range of motion for you. And this or the next time that you come through center, through your starting position, pause here. Draw your knees in and rock a little bit from side to side. You can hold on to each knee. You can hold on to the backs of your thighs. Some people can hug their shins, whatever feels good. Moment to massage your low back. Holding on to the left knee, allow the right foot to come down to the floor. Go ahead and grab your strap, and we're going to bring it around the left foot. You can have it at the ball of the foot or the arch. And then holding the strap, one hand on each side, go ahead and use it to help you draw your foot up towards the ceiling. Now your knee can be bent. It should be bent. Flexing through your foot. Stay here, working with your range of motion, your stretch, or move into some bend and flex and point. Inhale in place, exhale, draw the knee towards your shoulder. Notice how my foot is staying pretty much in the same position. And then I'm going to press up through my heel and then point my foot. I will flex and draw the knee towards my shoulder and then press up through the heel first and then point. So take your time moving through a little flex and point. Use your arms on your strap to help support the leg and make the stretch comfortable. Now you may be here, or you may be way up here. Work wherever you are with your range of motion. And the next time that you're pressing your leg up, keep a little bend in your knee and your foot flex, and see if you can bring your other foot up and into the strap. Your knees can be very bent, and hold on to the strap for support. And we'll switch sides by slipping the left foot out, bringing the foot down, knee bent, and we'll proceed with the same process on the other side. Bending and pressing up. Heel first, and then the point. And if pointing your foot makes your foot cramp, then just press through the ball of your foot. You don't have to take the toes along for the ride. But if you press your heel up and then the ball of the foot, coming to what we affectionately call Barbie feet, for any of you who played with Barbies when you were young. And just take a few more repetitions here. And then we'll come to stillness, keeping the right leg elevated. Your left foot is down on the ground. Bring both ends of the strap into your right hand. I have these nice handholds, so I can just do that. But you may wrap your strap around and hold on with one hand. Bring, excuse me, your left hand to your left hip and just have it there for security and to help you notice when your hip begins to leave the ground. Let your right leg be as bent as it needs to be. We're going to begin to open that leg out to the side. Only go as far as you can go without your left hip lifting up. So you don't want to lift up and let the leg fall. We want to keep both hips squarely grounded on the mat, and then the leg opens from there. Bringing it out to the side, and then see if you can pause and breathe. Modulate the stretch by using the strap to help you support the leg. Go to where your leg goes comfortably. And on an inhale, begin to draw the leg up through center. We're going to switch hands. So grab the both ends of the strap now with your left hand. You can keep your left knee bent with your foot on the mat, or if it would be comfortable, extend the leg out long. We're going to bring your right hand down. I have mine out at my shoulder height like a T. I'm going to start bringing my right leg just past the midline. So see how my hip is still on the mat. I think you can see that. So in other words, I'm not rolling and lifting up. I'm just bringing the leg across the midline. My knee is bent, and I'm getting a stretch in this IT band, in the glute muscles around my hip, and maybe even back towards the floor. I'm going to hold here. And then on an inhale, bring the leg back up to center. Bring one hand to each end of the strap. Now, again, if it's comfortable for you, see if you can bring your other foot up and into the strap. And we'll switch sides. Bringing the right foot down, knee is bent, foot is on the floor, both ends of the strap into your left hand. Allow your knee to be as bent as it needs to be, and then begin to open your leg out. Remember that this hip, the right hip, is going to stay firmly grounded even as the leg comes out to the side. Use your strap to modulate the effect of this stretch, right? So I'm going to slide a little bit away so I can open my leg a little more. I have the wall here, but that even is another option, is to let your foot come to a wall or another surface like the edge of your couch or your chair if you need a little bit additional support. Keeping your hips grounded, allowing the leg to open. Take a few breaths here. And when you're ready, on an inhale, draw the leg up and switch hands, bringing both straps into both ends of the strap into the right hand. Your left leg can stay with the knee bent, or if it feels good, extend and press out through your heel, moving that block out of the way with my foot. And I'm going to begin to come across the midline. So I get a stretch in the outer leg, the outer thigh, into the hip, into the glutes. But I'm not rolling, right? I'm not coming across. I'm staying with both hips down on the ground and the leg just coming across. My knee is bent and I'm getting a comfortable stretch. Don't have a death grip on your strap, just hold it lightly. Like I said, when I don't have this strap, I would probably wrap the end of the strap around my hand or wrist to give me a little bit more support and take the work out of my hands. And on your next inhale, slowly draw the leg up. Bend your right knee and bring your left leg bent. Bring your ankle above the right knee, coming into a little figure four. We're just going to hang out here for a moment, maybe rock a little bit from side to side. Resting through the upper body. Let your hands rest. Let the arms rest. When you feel ready, switch legs. And again, find your figure four. Maybe you rock a little bit from side to side. And then bring that foot down. Now we're going to roll onto our right side. I'm just going to roll over. I'm going to use my own bicep as a pillow for my head. If that doesn't work for you, then maybe you have something handy, like I have this bolster I could pull in. Bend your knees and your hips so that you feel supported. You can bring your top hand in front. And now this is going to be the tricky part. See if you can grab your strap, and we're going to lasso our top foot. That should, I guess we're on our right side, that should be our left leg. So I've gone ahead and I have both ends of the strap in my left hand. My left foot is lassoed, and I'm going to come into what we affectionately call the couch stretch. Because I guess when you lie on your couch, maybe you do this stretch. I don't know. Pressing up. You don't have to straighten your leg. You can keep your knee bent. I'm just finding some length, a little bit in the inner thighs and the back of the leg. And we're going to hold for a couple of breaths. And now this is the tricky maneuver. Let your knee bend. Bring your strap to the outside of your knee. Going to begin to bring your hand behind you, holding onto the strap. The strap is now moved around to my ankle, and I'm going to use the strap to pull my heel towards my bottom and get a stretch in the front of my hip and in my thigh. So I'm pulling back with my hand. Here's the strap. And I'm getting a stretch in my thigh and the front of the hip. Hold for 1 or 2 more breaths. And then gently release. Let your foot come out. And we're going to roll to the other side. I'm actually going to have my back to you so that you can see what this looks like from the other side. So rolling over, bending the knees and hips to get that support. Your head is resting on a pillow or on your arm. And then go ahead and lasso your right foot, holding both ends of the strap in the right hand. And then see if you can press your leg up, flexing through the foot. Getting a stretch in your inner thighs and the back of your leg. Let your knee stay as bent as it needs to make this a comfortable, well, somewhat challenging stretch. If it's very challenging, then see what you can do to fix it. Where does the leg need to go for you to get comfort, but also the opening that we're looking for here? So hold here for just a couple of breaths. And then when you're ready, we're going to slowly bend the knee, let the strap roll to the front of your ankle, and then see if you can, I'm trying to walk my hand towards my foot so I can get a good stretch through the front of my hip and the front of my thigh. So my arm is kind of behind me. This may not work for everyone, so do what Modify as you need to. And I'm gently pulling my foot towards my bottom to get more of a stretch. One more breath here. And then release the strap and roll to your back. Let your head relax. Maybe draw your knees in and rock a little bit. And we're going to slowly make our way all the way up to standing. So take your time. I'm going to roll to one side and press into my hands to come up to sitting. And then I'm going to roll up onto my knees. This is what works for me. And step 1 foot forward, hands on my knees. My back toes are curled under. And I'm going to press all the way up. Now you can take the path that works best for you. And once you're standing, come into your mountain pose or Tadasana, feet about hip distance apart. Relaxing your arms down, maybe shaking out through arms and legs. Feet about hip distance apart. Interlace your fingers, bringing palms together. We're going to turn palms forward and then press and open through our hands. So we're stretching through palms, stretching through outer arms. Press and press, make it comfortable. If you have pain, then back off and just find a gentle opening. And then let your elbows bend a little bit so you can draw your arms. Maybe you can bring them up overhead. If not, keep them right at heart level. If you can bring them overhead, press up and get the stretch in a slightly different position, pressing your palms towards the ceiling or out in front of you. Gently bend your elbows and bring your knuckles to the top of your head or to your heart. And then again, press through the hands. Let the elbows bend a little bit as you draw the arms down if they're not already there. Press one more time. And then release and shake out your hands. We're going to work with a balance sequence that will move us from a Tai Chi pose, which is called crane, into crescent lunge. So let me show you what it looks like and then I'll talk you through it. In fact, well, here, I'll start standing this way. So we're going to come onto balancing on my left leg. Maybe you have a drishti or something in front of you, but I'll talk you into that. I'm going to lift the right leg. My knee is bent, my ankle is flexed, and then I'm going to bring my arms up. See how this is the crane. And then I'm going to step back with that leg. My front knee bends and my arms come up. So I come into a crescent lunge. Now the crescent lunge, my front knee is bent and I'm on the ball of the back foot. My feet are in railroad tracks, not a balance beam. So I'm not, teeter-tottering, nice and steady. And then I'll press up and come back into crane. Okay, so I'll talk you through this. Find your starting position in mountain pose. Take a moment to find your focal point or drishti in front of you, something still. Inhale and raise. We'll go to the left leg since some of us just did the right leg. Lifting the leg up, arms come out, get steady. And then on an exhale, press your foot behind you, the front knee bends, arms come up. I'm on the ball of the back foot. Looks like my legs are a little closer than they actually are. I'm pretty much hip distance apart here. Going to step onto my front leg and draw my back leg up, bending and flexing. Arms come out. We'll stay on this side for a couple of repetitions. Step back and reach up. Inhale, come forward. See, I took a little extra step there for steadying. And exhale back. Beautiful. Inhale, last time, crane on this side. And then release arms and leg. Shake out. And we'll move to the other side. Inhaling, drawing the right knee up. Exhale, step behind you. The front knee bends right over the ankle. Back foot presses back behind you. You're on the ball of the foot. Inhale, draw. See, a little tap. Maybe you need for stability. Draw the leg forward. Exhale, step back. Find your crescent lunge. Inhale, draw forward. Last time, whoops, here in crane. And then release and shake out. One more standing pose. I'm going to take a sip of water. So, finding your mountain pose. We're going to cross forearms and place hands on shoulders. We did this earlier. If it's better for you, you can also wrap and stack your elbows. So the difference here is that one arm's underneath and one arm's on top versus forearms crossing, whichever feels better in your body. Walk your feet out just a little bit wider. Inhale and get nice and tall. Exhale, press your left hip to the left and come over in a side bend to the right. We're not going to stay. We'll inhale up through center, pardon me, and then exhale to the other side. Inhale through center, and exhale, side bend. Inhale through center, and exhale. Inhale through center, release arms down, walk your feet in, and we'll take one sun breath. Inhale up, and exhale. Close hands at heart center. Beautiful. Now we're going to come down, and we're going to come into hero's pose. So this is a pose where you're sitting on your knees. If that is not good for you, then find your way into a better seated pose, maybe sitting cross-legged or sitting up on a chair. So I'm going to use a little mat that protects my knees. I'll come down, and then I'm going to use my blocks, but you could also use a cushion. For me, I know that one block turned on its side, so the second highest level, between my ankles, so not on my ankles, but right between them. And then I can sit up nice and tall and comfortably on my block. Now, I meant to tell you to get your strap. So if you haven't, don't do what I'm doing and reach badly. Get up and get it so that you have it handy for this next pose. So find your comfortable seated position. Yes? Okay. Bring your strap into your left hand. And then we're going to bring the left hand up, bend the elbow, and let the strap drop down behind your back. Rest your head against your arm. So this may be your pose right here, or you may take your left hand and reach it behind your back and see if you can grasp the strap. Maybe you can walk your hands closer together, or maybe you stay right where you are, both hands on the straps, on ends of the strap. And opening up through your shoulders, through heart center. This is called cow face pose. I think this is supposed to kind of look like a cow's face, maybe with an ear up. Not sure exactly how we get there. But we're going to hold here and breathe. If this is uncomfortable, please loosen up, lighten up, let it go if you need to. Couple of breaths. And then slowly and carefully release one arm and then the other. And maybe we'll roll our shoulders a little bit. As I said at the beginning, I'm working with a shoulder injury myself, so I'm moving very cautiously so as not to further injure myself. So now bring the strap into your left hand. And the strap is strange, but I'm just holding somewhere so that I have an end that goes down. I'm going to bring my arm up and bend my elbow. My arm is behind my head. Now, maybe this right here is a lot for you. Maybe you need to have your arm out a little further, or maybe this isn't going to work for you at all. So please respect your body. I'm going to take my left hand and bring it behind my back. This is tender for me. I'm grasping the end of the strap. Now, can I use the strap to find a little more stretch, pulling up with the top hand, maybe pulling down with the bottom? Make it gentle. This is a big stretch for me today with my sore shoulder. So I'm going to slow down and focus and take a few breaths right here, slowly. And then carefully release one arm and then the other. Let the strap go. And again, circle your shoulders. Up, back, and down, maybe back, up, and forward. Beautiful. We have just one more pose. We're going to come onto our bellies. Now, for some of us, we need something underneath our low belly or pelvis if we have low back pain. So this is where you can take that folded blanket or even a cushion and bring it underneath your belly. Make sure your strap is handy. We will use it. So we're going to come down into Sphinx Pose. So we have our elbows and forearms and hands down at about shoulder width. If this is too much extension in your back, walk your hands forward so you're not up as high. Now you may again have something underneath your pelvis. For me, it's better not to have something, so I don't. So find your Sphinx Pose. Pressing down, imagine you could draw your elbows back and shine your heart space forward. Try not to crank your neck, keep it extended naturally with the rest of your spine. And then begin to gently bend and straighten your legs. I've heard this called sleepover party. So we can pretend, we're with our friends. And then come to stillness. This may be plenty for you right here. And if it's comfortable, you can stay. If you need to come out and it's okay for your body to come forward, you can bring your elbows wide and stack your hands, resting in crocodile. Or if you're okay here in Sphinx, we'll go to the next little bit here. This is challenging, so we'll see how we do. To see how I will do with this. I'm going to make a little loop in my strap, and I'm going to bend my left foot. I'm rolling to the side a little bit so that I can reach back and see if I can, I can't even do it. Look at that, I should have practiced. All right. Well, if you can't do it too, then let that go. If it's possible to reach your foot or ankle, grasp it. Maybe some of us can grab our pants leg, whatever you can get. If you can't get anything, just reach, bending through your knee. And in this pose, I'm getting a stretch in the front of my hip and in my thigh. I'm also getting an opening in my shoulder and through heart center. So make this work for you. Maybe if you have hold of your foot, you press your foot into your hand and resist that press. 2 more breaths wherever you are. And then gently release and come back down. Now, if we were in class together, I'd be coming around and helping you loop that strap around your ankle. Apparently, it's a 2-person operation. Now you know. Okay, so coming back through Sphinx Pose, again, feel free to rest or opt out entirely. I'm going to bend my right knee, roll a little bit away so I can reach back. For me, I can do this. For some of us, you won't be able to. Maybe you'll be able to grab your pants leg or maybe just reach. I've got a hold of my foot and the ankle, and I can slide forward again to get that opening in the front of my hip and in my thigh. I'm going to press my foot into my hand and open through my shoulder. Taking 2 more breaths here. And last one. Gently let go or release. And if you'd like, press back into child's pose. If you prefer, go ahead and roll onto your back and draw your knees in, which is basically child's pose on your back. Take a few breaths just to stretch out your back. And then we'll all roll onto our backs to prepare for Shavasana, rest pose. Go ahead and take a comfortable position, maybe with pillows under your knees or under your head or both. Maybe a blanket over you if you're in a snowy place. It's pretty warm here in Atlanta. Whatever will facilitate some deep rest for your body after our vigorous practice. Allow the breath to be smooth and natural. With each exhale, sinking in to the supports beneath you. With each inhale, feeling a sense of spaciousness opening. Exhale and sink into the cradle of the earth beneath you. Inhale and open up to the sky above you and draw it in like a blanket. Earth below, sky above. Softening, releasing, and letting go. We'll take a rest. And I'll close with the words of our youth poet laureate, Amanda Gorman, excerpted from her poem, The Hill We Climb. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true, that even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll be forever tied together, victorious. For while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption we feared at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it. Begin to deepen your breath, bringing small movements into fingers and toes. When you feel ready, roll to one side if you're lying down. And gently press into your hands, bringing yourself up to sitting, allowing your attention to stay deeply inward for another moment or two. We'll close our practice with one chant of Om for the community, the Sangha that we create when we practice together. If you'd like to join, bringing hands to heart center, we'll inhale together. Om Shanti, peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Thank you for sharing your practice with me and with each other.